Wow. That was insane. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Welcome back to the Video Village. As you can see, I did some reorganizing. I think this looks a lot better than what I had before, so I'm very happy about that. I hope you're doing well. I skipped a week last week because I was actually attending a film festival and it got really overwhelming. A lot of networking, meetings, going to panels, watching movies. A really, really great time. And I love film festivals, but also as someone who is very introverted, it's really just very exhausting and overwhelming. So needed a bit of a break. I hope you don't mind, even though I am late with my review and analysis and breakdown of Ren's latest. And he has been putting out this stuff like it's nothing. It's so impressive, and just really excited to go take a look. In the meantime, I just wanted to let you know that I've started posting some, really bite-sized kind of videos almost every day now on my channel, where I kind of share my day-to-day as a filmmaker and all of the work that goes into it behind the scenes and all of the ups and downs. And man, it's such a roller coaster. So if that's something you're interested in, definitely take a look. And secondly, a couple weeks ago, I released a new short film on my channel as well that I think you Ren fans will actually really like. It's very much inspired by art, and it's actually on a piece of music, a classical piece of music, and it's dance, and it's a good story, and definitely go watch it. Take a look, and let me know your thoughts. I also put a BTS and like all of my references and everything that went into it on my Patreon. So either way, with all that said, let's get into Starry Night, shall we? Ooh. Ah. Oh, I love this.
I begin? Wait a minute, I know. Step one, I repent. Step two, let me go. No, three, maybe I show you remorse for my crime. Fuck that, let me speak my mind. So allow me to introduce myself to your manifestation of everybody in this room. Ever felt discarded by a system that's regarded to be something for the people, but the people disregarded, it's retarded. Putting all the power in the palms of the heartless. Lions don't care when chewing on carcass. Homeless levels rise and the politicians pardon. Slave labour wage docking pay for the farmers. Britain, Great Britain, no, you're a slave. Great Britain, tax bracket rise, grow. Give a tax break for a suit and tie on the low. Well, the everyday people getting fucked till they broke, so let me unload, I'm on a roll, I never vote, big in the polls, Britain the road, who's in control when there is no food in the bowl. It's a low blow, representatives don't show empathy, plain to see, represent me, no soccer. Britons break backs just for bread and butter. Fuck the PM, did they sit, stutter? In the PM, there'll be bodies in the gutter. Blood-stained hands, milk up poor land's udder. 9 to 5, can't survive away just to work in a job that can't provide. It's by design, my hands are tied, I climb that, on this that, how the fuck can I pretend it's fine? The water is never wine, the pig steps to the slaughter. Before your eyes, it's for the new world order. Except our minds, court of law, a horse who will bend for bribe. All the while, people watch reality TV, sleep easy, wake and repeat the cycle. Are you taking the Michael? Better beat it up, city full of sheep tweeting on the social media. Tabloid twisting tails and it's causing mass hysteria. Polarise the people now that by the hand is feeding you. When it comes to war, they'll be calling for you, needing you. Fighting for a cause that wasn't yours, then leaving you. Hyperpolarising the left and the right. Are you woke? Are you racist? Black? Are you white? Are you all for the Brexit? Make us with exit. The NHS rots, where was tax directed? Look, there goes another fucking puppet elected. Dance, little puppet, dance for the neglected. Impunity from true flies come to be expected. Sever head of Hydra, 2 parties resurrected.
Wow! I just wanted to pause it here because the acts are very natural spot to pause. So, wow, this must be the most explicitly political that he's been. Listening to the lyrics, I mean, he's been pretty political in the past, right? With the Money Game videos, coming to mind specifically. But the things he's saying here, there's really no mistaking it, right? So, very, very, very deep stuff. So we open on this magnificent shot here. It's really, really quite excellent. I love this as an opener. And just here with the bars, I don't know what these little things are, but they almost look like horns. Love that. Really, really excellent opening. And then we have this moment here where the camera just follows him through this and they go to basically like a group session, right? So pretty soon, we see the guys sitting on the floor below them, and they start clapping and doing that whole thing. And then we have this beautiful, I think the first part is a little bit of like a single take, because this is where the camera basically shifts. We reveal the guys on the lower floor, and they start the beat. Really, really beautiful. I absolutely love this. That reveal is excellent. I love that it's all green and a little bit of red. I am sure they didn't paint the entire floor, but it feels like money, the color of money with a little bit of red as the blood. He's been so intentional about colors and like theme and all of that in the past as well, that feels very, very, very intentional. And even if the floor was already green, you could still use that for your semiotic meaning. So I love that. Just really, really great. And then basically the camera turns around and now we're tracking him but facing his face. Camera moving backwards, which is always complicated, which I'm sure wasn't easy because these hallways in this like old prison here, which hasn't been in use for some time, it's really hard to navigate. So usually the camera operator will have someone behind them to sort of like make sure that they don't trip and fall, because they have to be able to fully focus on the camera and operating and, moving backwards at the same time. Because, that's it's a really, really cool entry into this thing. And obviously he's been fighting. He's got the bruise in his face. I absolutely love how much they use the environment here as well. It's like the prison is so oppressive. As he's talking about these things, it's like the system is constantly watching them. This woman in red is also, measuring and looking at them and judging them as well. It's like even as this, prison therapist or whatever it is that her role is supposed to be, she still has a role of judgment in this. And that's so palpable throughout, because they're just in their gray sweatsuits and they don't have anything. They have no personality. They have no character. They have almost no right of being, which is also very much what he says in his lyrics as well. It's like, we're just the poor and the politics, and the division that they're sowing. And it's so interesting because he's really very clearly also separating them from the system. And the system here is very much the prison and the prison guards. In criminology specifically, which if you don't know, I have a master's degree in criminology. The prison is almost the most literal personification, if you will, of the system. It's the most oppressive. It's the most unfair and unjust in a lot of ways. And so I think to have this set in a prison is a really, really interesting choice. And then as for lighting here, I wanted to just say I'm looking at a little bit into the background. Like behind them, it's quite dark, but he's beautifully outlined here because he is lit in the foreground. Then here in this little officer's space, I think, there's light. So we have a little bit of warm color there because everything is very cool toned. And then there's some light here in the background as well to give it some depth. And I think it's really wonderfully lit. And same for these kinds of shots. And we have quite a bit of movement from the camera, and we're moving down and up and looking up at Ren when he gets up. We're, at the same height as him. And I think that too, the very, very intentional sort of positioning of the camera, which we've seen is they're so intentional about, it's really all about the power dynamics, and it really beautifully aligns with the lyrics as well. Look at this, like, we're sitting right here behind this character who's very blurry in the foreground, so we're sharp on Ren, and he's moving his arms wide, which again is like such a powerful stance, and we're positioned slightly below him, which again gives puts him into a position of power visually. Really, really beautiful and excellent. Yeah, these are some really excellent shots. I love this. It is relatively simple, as in there's not a lot of setups happening here, which, as we're moving into Act 2, we're already seeing that change. But it's just really powerful, and I love the beats of it and the a cappella, and it's like the things that he's saying are very human, and you can tell he's frustrated, and he chose to do that with all human sounds, if that makes sense. It's just such a powerful way of making that point. Love it. Incredible. This is also quite interesting because here we see that the guards are starting to sort of touch their handcuffs here and like whatever, all of the other like paraphernalia that they have. And that kind of happens when they start to get more and more worked up, and like Ren starts talking more intensely, and that too, it feels very much like they're trying to show that power imbalance here too. It's like, don't be too loud, don't speak up too much, or, these are the repercussions. And then he gets back down again, and the way that the guys are directed to sort of almost seem like they're interacting with him as they're clapping, as they're beating. It's like, yes, we hear you. Yes, we're, reaffirming, and they're it's really like they're speaking together and really amplifying, and, it's a conversation. It's really, really nice. Same again here, this shot where we're looking at him from down below, putting him into that position of power. Yet the next shot, look at that. We move up and we see that the guards, the system, is placed at yet a level above them, right? And threatening them with violence, which is what the system does if you don't behave. All right, and then we all look up, and that's when, and the camera moves up, and the Ren in white with the white beanie is revealed, which is so interesting. I love these little bits and pieces of sort of surrealism in this, and throughout the Vincent's tale, with what could be the narrator, which could be which could be Screech's ghost, as I sort of argued in the last one, which I don't know if that's true, maybe. It's interesting how this figure keeps making an appearance, and as we enter Act 2, he moves into a cell, and we find Vincent here, the actor who played Vincent in the previous videos. So I'm very interested to see where this is going to go, if we're going back into the bedroom, which is what we saw in the previous video, or if we're going towards the end of Vincent's life, which, if you're not aware, ended quite grimly. So let's keep watching.
Party's resurrected. Yes, I am the malevolent, degenerate delegate. Incarcerate the truth, keep it separate. The fabric of society is deadlock. They don't want me in the room, I'm the elephant. Let's go. I guess I was fucked from the get-go. Wrong place and wrong time, guess so. Wrong planet, wrong mind. Guess you could say I was destined to break, because I get no satisfaction. I roll stoned, ETAs with ET, I phone home. ETC, don't blink, life is gone. Time don't wait, the show must go on. In London underground, come rain and thunder. Junkies, drunks and punks stung by the hunger. God is good until life push you under. One by one become cold like the tundra. One by one cast out like pariah. Sever head from body, so body bow to Messiah. Boy cry wolf, everybody soon expire. Run, little liar.
Ooh, creepy.
Democracy ain't corporate lobby free for all. Democracy ain't rich boys, silver spoon seniors. Democracy ain't eating up a lie then forgiving you. Democracy ain't choosing between herpes or chlamydia. Democracy, hypocrisy, a synonym entwined. Take a baby, then deliver him, position him in line, and then imprison him, condition him in school to make him blind. After they christen him, the father, son, the ghost, we're not the mind. We are divine, we lose potential when we gravitate degree. We are benign, we turn to cancer when we take more than we need. We are designed to be magnificent, we waste that when we walk. Starry night, the plight of Vincent inside cell block 44. I fought a war inside myself, the war of every working man. The war of what's and why's and how's and when's the time to take a stand. And who's the one to put me in my place? You or is it God? It's compliance, staying silent. If defiance comes from love, I come from love. I come from hope, I come from truth, I come from trust. I am the last remaining push inside a world that turns to dust. Against the people so determined, all to die. And for what? Love of power, love of money, love of ego, love of lust. What about love for the sake of love? What about really loving us? But I mean really loving us. That means that I, the me, myself is you, and so we're we in one. And there's never separation while we're moving round the sun. For the cell of every sentient, it shares a single song. And that's the song of sweet creation. Do you hear the minstrel strong? For there's more to music. Life is music. Music is the tongue in the mouth of Mother Earth, and her heart beating is the drum. Hear it, hear it, hear it. That's that thunder in your chest that lets you know that you belong. We are one, we are one, we are free to one song. Something better, yet reset so we can all live on. Vincent! Oh good, he's waking up. Vincent, dear boy, I can feel your frustration, but you're in very safe hands here now, please be patient. You see, we are the cutting edge rehabilitation, and you feel so excited for this new innovation. Not a guards, what the fuck, man, I think I wanna leave. Oh, leave? I'm afraid that that's impossible, see? You see, we're part of a new program, it's a government scheme. We're making gentlemen from criminals, and that's what you'll be. With a brand new method to sort of trials and tests. Like our good godson, you'll be resurrected. What the fuck you on about? What kind of brand new method? Well, we take the frontal lobe and we kind of dissect it. Your synapse augmented with our new serum injected. It aims to recorrect the parts of you we know are defect. There'll be discomfort in your side.
Oh god. Oh my god. Wow. That was insane. And I cannot believe that we have to wait yet again for another episode. I'm not complaining though, because this was so cool. It feels like he is really sort of almost crescendoing, if that makes sense. As an artist, as a musician, as a lyricist, as a just all-round, like the whole thing that he's doing here, it almost feels like he's putting together almost a feature film that is, you know, very artful. It's surreal. It's very, very poignant and smart as well. I'm super inspired, like incredibly inspired by him. This was what a treat. Oh my God. I feel like we're very lucky to have someone who wants to go quite this far. And I know that it's been a very hard journey for him, which is why I appreciate it even more and like admire it even more, you know? So, okay, let's take a look at a little bit of Act 2, which was relatively short. After Act 1, which was 3 minutes. So yeah, we move into the cell where we find Vincent again, or rather it doesn't even matter, like, I think at this point, who's who and what's what with, you know, what character he's playing. I think as I said in the last video for the bedroom, I think they're all Vincent, if that makes sense. And I think that's kind of what's happening. And I wanted to point out this shot specifically because I've been talking about angles a lot and like positioning of the camera. And here we're looking from the top down as they're sitting on the bed here, which again, is like, it's a position of power. Also, it's just a really cool shot. Absolutely love this top down shot. So wanted to point that one out. Same for this one, by the way, where he's, holding his hands up here like a gun. Very cool shot. Absolutely love that. Very different lighting here, by the way. It's a lot darker. There's only one light, I think. Probably two. One that's coming from sort of the direction here facing Ren, and then there's one somewhere behind them, I think. But their faces are quite dark, so we don't really fully see them that well. Oh, and then he turns and we cut to this shot. Let's take a look at that again, right? He's got his arm up. Then he turns and we cut to this shot. Excellent editing. Absolutely love that. That's so intentional. Like they had to move the camera from that position to this position to make that work well. That's perfect. That's such incredibly cool editing. And also like in the movement as well. That's the little things that you can tell that they're really thinking about, you know, the movement, not just their physical movement, but in relation to the camera, where the camera is positioned. So smart. Really, really love this. And I love this shot as well because the lighting here is more positioned into his face, which really makes all the dark circles really pop as well, which is great. And then here, he's being beaten, which now we sort of understand that that's where the bruising in his face comes from. It's just a relentless beating that they're getting here in this prison. All right, and then we move into Act 3, around the 4-minute mark, and we get this bit with the liar, liar, liar. We have all these characters that are just facing the camera and saying that. Very interesting. And then here we open on this really dark space and the light goes on. And we've noticed this before where they really take a very theatrical approach to the videos sometimes. And this too feels very, very theatrical, right? And I love the lighting here. It's a really, really strong spotlight. But because they're pointing it to, you know, they're aiming it through this grate here, which gives it such interesting texture, which you can really see very well because they actually used a smoke machine to kind of give it that, you know, smoky, foggy vibe in the room, which really reflects the light so nicely. So you can actually see those little lines, the grates. Then we cut to this shot where You see that so beautifully. Absolutely love that. It's so stark. Also, just the music here is just so beautiful, and I absolutely, absolutely adore that. So as he is going through all of this, as he's saying all that stuff, and it's getting more and more intense, we now see these sort of shadowy figures move in to this space, and knowing how the video ends with everyone sort of fighting, I wonder what these figures are supposed to be. It's like almost like rage demons or something. I did recently rewatch all of the 28 Days, Weeks, Years Later films, so rage demons is a little bit taken from that, but it feels like these are ghosts that are going to possess them or something, you know what I mean? Except it's like all the rage stuff. Oh, and then we cut to this beautiful ceiling, and Ren is just looking up at the stars, which are, you know, imagined stars, because as a prisoner, he can't see them anymore. So symbolical as well. It's like there's so much hidden from us, and, you know, through, I forgot to mention, because in the second segment, in the second act, we actually see Ren wearing the pig's mask a couple times, which we have seen him do many, many times before. And for him, you know, and this coincides with that, it's always a symbol of greed and taking, and not giving back, and just, you know, exploiting the planet, exploiting people, etc. And so that's what that made me think of in this segment here, where he is actually, like, you know, looking up at the stars that a prisoner can't see. Just beautiful VFX here. It's so remarkable how they made that work, and how it moves as well. I thought that was really nice. And it still looks like a painting too. Very nicely done. Yeah. And then we cut to this element here, which at some point he actually says the words Mother Earth. And the movie that I really thought of as I was watching this was the movie Mother with Jennifer Lawrence. It's a Darren Aronofsky film. It's one of my favorites. I am a very big fan of Darren Aronofsky's films. And I feel like that's what this was referencing a little bit, or was inspired by, where, you know, his character is sort of in the middle of all this violence that he has no control over. And it's basically about the violence that people do to each other, that the system does onto people, as well as that everyone collectively does onto the earth, right? And then the color grading here is also just excellent. I love the lighting. We have these really warm lights from the fire. We have the green on the floor, which contrasts very nicely. And then all of the color in the foreground, all of the light, is just very pale and a little, I don't know, thin, as in it's not very strong at all. And it's just magnificent. Love the color grading. Just so nice. And just the choices that they made with the colors on set as well. And so here we see Vincent again as well, dressing nicely, rather than, you know, as a prisoner like before. And just a lot of really, really beautiful camera movement here in this segment that really makes us feel in there and around them. And it's very visceral and just very palpable, everything that's happening. And then, you know, all of the color kind of goes away and people are just beating on each other in the background. It's just so brutal. Just brutal. What a great job. And then I also really love, again, the colors here, the redness of this guy's beard that's sort of really contrasts so beautifully with the blues that they have, that they're using in the shadows and in some of the foreground color. And we have all of these falling feathers, which really look like his paintbrush strokes. Just stunning. And then we move into this insane Act 4, right? So we have these roses, they fall, and we cut to this almost sort of slapstick segment, which is tonally so different from everything else, yet it still fits so well. I'm a huge fan of surrealism. One of my favorite films of all time is Sorry to Bother You by Boots Riley. And it made me think of that a little bit with how almost over the top it is. He is acting this psychiatrist so incredibly over the top. which is contrasting so nicely to the other side here. Now we're seeing two Rens in the same frame. In the over-the-shoulder shots, they'll have had a stand-in person, another actor who's just going to be in those stand-in shots, and in the foreground things are blurry because of the depth of field of the lens. But here, there's a little bit of editing magic and VFX magic going on where they basically filmed this twice, and they probably had the stand-in sit in either on the other side for Ren to work off of the other, and then basically they overlaid those two exact same shots on top of each other, split it in half, and then deleted the other side so that it looks like you have the same actor in the shot twice. That's basically how you do it. Something that I did in a way in my short film that I mentioned in the intro. So it's a really fun technique that is actually relatively easy to do, but it's always so incredibly effective, right? So if you've seen the movie Sinners recently, that's how they do that too. For a lot of them, like if it's actual like physical interaction and they're touching each other, that's where it gets complicated. And you need more extensive VFX and like facial mapping and pasting one face onto the other and matching, like, oh my God, that's where it gets complicated. But shots like these, relatively easy to do, surprisingly. So really love this. And he's basically talking about how prisoners have always been considered subhuman and have historically always been used for experiments and being tested on, and the most horrific things that prisons have done historically with prisoners who may or may not have been guilty of what they've done. And if they were guilty, is this punishment proportionate to what they did? And I personally have opinions that I think Ren agrees with, given everything that he's showing here. But this is great. Look at this. It's so quirky, weird. They made such great use of this prison. It would have been really relatively easy to light and keep it consistent between the two shots that the two versions of this that they did. And it's just excellent. It's funny because we don't normally see him doing quite this much sort of comedy adjacent stuff. He could be a good comedy actor too, even. Except there's that constant angry edge that he has. Oh, I love it. It's so good. And then he gets taken away, and it's hard to be continued. Whew, man, there is so much in this video, and this was my first time watching it, and I feel like I still have to watch it a couple more times to really get a sense of everything that happened in this, and I'm sure that I missed a ton. So please tell me in the comments if you think I missed anything or what I missed. Boy, this is so exciting. Yeah, I mean, I've been fully on the Ren train, obviously, but it's not getting me any less excited. This is incredible. So yes, let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. In the meantime, if you're not subscribed, don't forget to subscribe. Hit the like button so that more people can find this video. You can find me on Patreon. Don't forget to check out my short film, and I hope to see you for the next one. Peace.
Potential when we gravitate degree. We are benign, we turn to cancer when we take more than we need. We are designed to be magnificent, we waste that when we walk. Starry night, the plight of Vincent inside cell block 44. I fought a war inside myself, the war of every working man. A war of what's and why's and how's, and when's the time to take a stand? Who's the one to put me in my place? You, or is it God?